5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live with Neve.
Hello, everybody. Here I am, a rather hirsute Neve here on the Live with Neve show. Yep, about time to go get a shower, clean up, but I just had to pop in here and say hello to all you great folks who hang around this den of iniquity. And hey, Dan, what's happening, man? What's going on? London in the house. We like that. So I'm just here to wish I hope everybody had a really great weekend. I know I did. I feel great. Just some good things happening in life. And, even when things aren't going so great, life is fucking great. Dan, thank you for asking. It's, you got to just enjoy the little things sometimes that go on in life. At times there's a lot of crazy in my life and crazy people and crazy things. And I've had a good bit. Hey, Gina. There we go. Hey, good morning, or yeah, whatever. Let's see, it's 4 o'clock, so it's 1 o'clock. You guys have just had lunch, and I'm just sitting here thinking about what I'm going to cook for dinner tonight. I believe I'm going to do some shrimp. I bought some colossal shrimp that were just swimming in the ocean probably a day ago, and I'm going to cook the shit out of them. They are going to be great. Put them up on a barbecue a little bit, and some secret herbs and spices, and I will be swinging. Let's see. Well, sorry to hear you're not doing good, Dan. I hope that changes, man. Life gets good and bad sometimes in stages and cycles. The bad stuff never leaves quick enough, and the good stuff never comes quick enough. But I've got some great stuff going on. I'm excited. Life is good. I will be heading. No sound. Susan, I think. Anybody else? Can you hear me okay? Gina, are you hearing me? Anybody else chime in? I see no sound here, but it appears that Don can hear me. All right. Susan, since you can't hear me, let me type Susan a message here. Try re-logging in. Try logging in again. So I really wasn't planning to come on here today. I mean, you can tell I'm all scarved out. I've been cleaning my studio up, it's got piles of stuff and cables and equipment to be looked at, equipment to be shipped out for repair. And I've been busy as hell. So this room is like a hellhole. I mean, it's just got shit everywhere. I could probably show you a little bit. Let's see. I mean, if you look at this place, it's... What the fuck? I'm still here. Finally, sound. Rick Davis, Susan Fine, Gina. Man, I got all my good friends here. Dan from over the pond. Well, so my week's going to be great. Like I said, I haven't shaved or done anything. I've just been really busy today, moving stuff and getting rid of garbage. I have a huge contractor bag full of screwed up cables I've been saving to repair at some point in life. And yes, Susan, I don't know why you weren't getting it. It could have been just some kind of crazy interference or, I don't know, poltergeist activity, something like that. So a couple of great things. On Friday, I will be doing the show live from Philadelphia. And my friend Rick Davis and I are going to hear the amazing, the talented, the wonderful Papa Chubby. Everybody's going, who the fuck is Papa Chubby? Papa Chubby is a big guy. He is Papa Chubby. They're not calling him Papa Slim. And the guy's got little tiny stubby fingers, and he plays the shit out of blues guitar. In fact, he's just like unbelievable. The guy rips and shreds. Gina, have you? You are the girl who's seen everybody. Have you seen the Chubster? Um, I'm looking forward to it. You know, the guy's a maniac. Him and his lovely wife will be our hosts, and I'm going to be doing an actual live with Neve thing from the venue. It's interesting because it's oh yeah, you see, look at that, man. I'll tell you what, this girl, she has seen them all and knows it all. Rock and roll. Well, you know what, Dan? I'm reading. He's here. Yeah, he was. You saw him on that trip. Okay, I saw that he was out there. Been following his way back across the country, and let's see. You know, Dan, I'm a lot older than you. I could be your dad's dad, probably. And I'll just tell you, don't let all that crap in the news tear into your head, make you feel depressed and shitty. It's just not, it won't work. It won't help you. And don't, you know, the news is written to make you feel appalled or enticed or repulsed or embraced. But most of it's really pretty much bullshit. So it doesn't matter. But the politics are defined by the stations that are pro left or right or middle or whatever. And if you let these people in the newspaper and the talking heads and all that, if that's what you surround yourself with, all this craziness, you're going to just get crazier. It's going to make you feel like shit. You got to remember, people don't look at things necessarily the way you do. The people in the media are there to get view or ratings, and it doesn't have anything to do with public good or common good of the people. The fourth estate's just become a sorry pack of drunks, and they've always been drunks. But the best thing was, in the old days, they just don't have it. They're not there. It's like they're not there to cover a story. They're there to spin it. And so I get sick of it. And the news sells advertising. Exactly. You know, man, we don't go and do doom and gloom here. We say, fuck the doom and gloom. We're here about rock and roll. We're here about fun. You don't watch this show to hear me opine on politics. I'll say a few things. I'll rag on the usual suspects. And I don't put my faith in it. I put my faith in the people around me, the people who I deal with day to day, the people I know who are going to help me if I'm dying, if I'm sick. People are going to, help out. Not the people who are running in every fucking direction. And all they do is like lemmings. They watch the news, they get all chittered up about something, and they run around and they bitch to their friends, and their friends bitch to their friends. And it's like that old parlor trick. Tell somebody, you whisper in their ear, I want to kiss your neck. The guy looks at you. I like doing that game and sending bizarre things down the line. But by the time it got down to the 12th person who translates it, by the time it's translated, it's just so fucked up. Pardon my French, for you folks of tender sensibilities. I saw that. It's great. I love New York. Only in Gotham City or in Los Angeles would a mayor guy like have us go out and fucking chase rats. And I don't know if anybody's been in the city in the past few years, but if you have, you will notice the rat population since COVID is like everywhere. And now the new mayor, who I don't know what the hell, I haven't had time to form an opinion, but they're like all politicians. They always come up with this stupid shit that only a politician would think of. I don't know. If they really want to get rid of rats in New York, I'll tell you what you do. Give 50 cents a rat. You will have every homeboy. You'll have every guy who's fucking broke and sitting there at Zuccotti Park begging for money. They're going to be out there stabbing rats by the shitload. There is no shortage of rats. Mayor de Blasio he was the king of tedious. God almighty. I'm sorry. De Blasio just was so bad. He did a terrible job with the police, etc. I mean, what can I say? He was not the best mayor of New York. I voted right above David Dinkins, and that's it. But professor at NYU, he gets to sleep late, gets to hit on hot chicks. Tell me, Dan, how old are you, man? If I remember, this is like our youngest viewer. He's about 16 or 17. He's part of the World Trade Center music group, and him and his friend have been on the show before talking about the music that was done by Muzak at the Trade Center. Because I worked for Muzak for about 10, 15 years in various locations around the country. And it's pretty interesting. Oh God, Susan, I love you. You're right. He's gonna just teach a class on how to bullshit everybody, but he's a politician. They got offended when I wanted to teach a class called Liars and Politicians, 15 ways to get ahead in politics. You're 15. Well, you're a young guy, man. I'm gonna tell you, don't let all this talk of war and that shit scare you. I was your age and was terrified, man. When I was a kid, Ronald Reagan came in and reinstituted the draft, and I was scared shitless. I saw the Russians fighting in Afghanistan, and I saw my scrawny hippie ass getting dragged off to go fight the fucking Russians, and I did not think that was cool. It was not part of my career path. So I'm just telling you, mate, avoid the news if it's making you feel bad. Garbage in, garbage out. There's a definite tie-in to people who are happy don't listen to news. A lot of people who don't listen to news are much happier day to day. So I'm telling you, at 15, man, you should be thinking about getting laid. You should be thinking about getting a girlfriend and a car, and getting a great job, or building your own job, your dream. Don't let all that shit occur, because it's just going to drag you down. You got to focus on something you want to do with your life. Whatever it is, focus on that and just bust your ass. And fuck the news. Don't worry about what the news says, because you're just going to go make yourself crazy. It's going to demoralize you. It's going to make you feel like you'll never get ahead. If it bleeds, it leads, man. And so, just lighten up on yourself. You're too young to have to. Don't worry about that shit. Take the time to be a kid while you can. I mean, otherwise you'll end up like me, a lifetime of music and crazy loose women and fast cars and loud guitars. And I don't know. I was just talking to Juford this morning, actually right now. Juford is the keyboard player for Kinky Friedman. And I will have Juford and Kinky on coming soon. They've both been having a little bit of medical issues, but nothing that any of us oldsters have. Rick Davis, that is some of the best advice I could give him. Read comics, and let me tell you this. Don't think about getting married till you're 30, man. Go out there, grab the world by the nuts, swing, and make your fucking life happen. Don't sit around here. Don't get some girlfriend who's like, oh, I love you. Let's get married. But you're only 20 and you got no job. And there is no jobs. I'm telling you, man, just go out and make your own way in this life. And fuck what anybody tells you. If they try and discourage you, just blow them out. Don't listen to it. It's different if they're giving you really sound advice, like the house is on fire, you better jump. But I'm just telling you, man, you're 15, dude. I was your age, and I had similar feelings and things, but I'm going to tell you, man, it works out. It really does. Go for the sight. Set your sight on the life you want. Don't have to be like your parents. You don't have to be like everybody tells you. You got to just be you. Be yourself. Don't try to be embarrassed by who you are. I mean, look at me. I'm not embarrassed. God, the things I've done. I can't tell you any of them because, God, I don't want to corrupt you. But, go out. And the other thing I'll tell you, if you whatever you're going to do, go travel. When you get out of high school, get some money, save your cash, and go somewhere different. Like somewhere really fucking different. Go there for 2 weeks or a month. Get in a car, drive around Europe, man. Dude, this world is full of great shit to do. The world is your oyster, man. I'm 61 years old. And I can tell you there's so much cool shit in the world that I haven't even got to yet. I've done almost everything I ever wanted to do, though. Played in the band, made records, Gotten to meet great people, gotten to go skydiving. I've gone scuba diving. I've been around the world, seen all kinds of great shit. And that's what you got to do, man. Don't let all this other shit get you down. I mean, Dr. Neil's telling you, shut that shit off, crank up some Led Zeppelin, bang your fucking head, and enjoy life. You only get one, man, as far as I can tell. I know we might some will end up with wings, some will end up with a pointy tail and horns. I don't know. My track record, I know that God finds something worthy in me. He finds me entertainment. I go to Highlands and live with Neil. I'm telling you, Dan, you're at the time of life, you got the world by the sack, and you need to just live and thrive and follow your dream, man. And work. Don't just have a dream and half-ass it. Figure out what you want to do and fucking hit it every day, hard as you can, and just bust your ass. Work hard. Things, I got to tell you, man, our parents used to tell us that, and I thought they were full of shit. But really, life is simple. You're responsible for your own happiness, not the news, nobody you're with. If you get dumped by a girlfriend, just listen, man. At your age, you're going to have a bunch of women in your life come and go. Don't get married till you're 30 and you have money and success and you know what you're doing. You have your own head and your own direction. And if you're going to get married, there's not always a need for it. But if you're gonna, make sure it's somebody who's your equal intelligence-wise. Don't marry a bimbo. Trust me, I've got the bills to prove it. All I got to do is show you my bills for the past 20 years taking care of bad mistakes. Learn from Uncle Neil. Do not fuck up your life. Don't have a kid when you're 19. It took me 10 years from the time I had my kid right out of high school. And I had to pay for it. Her cost me 10 grand. And back then I was making shit money. I was playing gigs at night. I busted my ass. I had 3 jobs. Took me till I was 30 to go ahead and find myself. I went to school to become a recording engineer and all that stuff. Got married the first time, Gina, at 19. And relatively quickly, we had Asia come along. Yeah, Rick's giving you good advice. Don't get some chick knocked up, man. Don't. And be responsible. Don't be that guy who's a douchebag. Just be responsible. If you will ruin your life, man, if you have a kid at the wrong time with the wrong person. So it's just, you got to be really solid in life. You're very antisocial in real life. Well, I'm going to tell you, we're going to have to get you over here to training school. We're going to hook you up, man. Going to get you on the path to success. Me and Uncle Rick, we're going to take you out, get you laid. We're going to get you really drunk. We're going to ruin your life. Your parents are going to come over here worried and sick, and they're going to come back and be like, who the hell are these crazy people you've hooked up with? But you know what? I tell you, I'm telling you and talking to you just like you're my own kid. Wow. Gina, it's funny. I got married really young too. Well, I can't say unfortunately. I was married for 16 years after that. And when you're that young, Gina, you can chime in. We don't know shit at that age like we think we do. Your mind hasn't fully, your body and your brain have not fully matured. And guys, I know this is going to piss you off, but trust me. At that age, 17, 16, you got nothing on the women at 16 and 17. They know. They know way more than you do. And you want somebody, if you're going to get married, I personally, I'm 61. I've been in the same relationship for 6 years. Neither one of us sees any reason to get married. Just doesn't seem necessary. And, both been divorced. So, it pays to be smart when picking your partner, man. You got to be careful. And I was just a young, dumb shit, man. I was playing in a rock and roll band. And I ended up in Atlanta, Georgia playing. And my old girlfriend from school was there. And next thing you know, we've got a couple of critters and a mortgage and houses, and you know, we're not we were not meant to be together. We tried. We gave it a good. We have great kids. We always agree about our children, but you know, she was very religious. And then you got me on the other hand, who's like from the. I mean, I was so it's the Jehovah Witnesses have see things in a very different way than I do about everything, and after a while, it just wasn't going to work. And being married to me, she considered me the Antichrist, which I don't know. I got a couple of pointers from him, but you know, really, I'm just what you see is what you get, man. Be who you are, Dan. And Magnus, you got some great advice. I think it's cool. Everybody's sitting here, us old folks, giving our buddy here just a little, you know, a little positive. You know, we all need somebody to tell us we're okay. Dan, know this, man. Everybody at your age feels antisocial and feels pissed off and confused, and your hormones surge, and you find things. Just do things. Try to cultivate a mid-range where you're calm. Things are really great. You don't get too worked up over it. When things are really shitty, you don't get too down. You got a mental strength. Resilience is what you're going to need to survive. Be open to change every day. Whatever you think is going to be changing tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day for the rest of your life. So I'm just saying, I'm talking to you like you're my own kid. Bust your ass. Don't be dependent on other people. You have to be dependent. So be likable, be teachable. Be the guy that even if you don't know, people like you because you ask a good question, you'll learn. And then if they teach you something, thank them and don't fuck it up again. Learn, be teachable, man. You're a young dude. I hope you bag the whole world like you want. It's your oyster, man. Shuck it and shuck it and eat the damn thing. Wow. I agree, man. Go up to Sweden. There's beautiful women there. The Swedish chicks are, oh my God. Yeah, I think I need a European tour. Oh, Lord have mercy. You're a good dude, man. You know, you and your friend were I always wondered how to get young people to watch the Live with Neve show. And I still don't know. But I ended up with a group of people in Europe who like the show. And I thought it was really cool that these young kids, in his case, and then there's a group of people who find that music from the World Trade Center, the Muzak, they were using the environmental music as it was called in that day. It had no vocals. It was really the epitome of elevator music. You know, you'd have like the Ray Conniff singers and stuff. But let's see. Oh, I have to agree with you. California girls. Oh man, I'm getting my blood pressure up today. Time to go work out my scrawny ass. But yeah, California girls, I'm telling you something, Dan. You've got a whole lifetime of fun ahead of you. Be smart and don't do what I did. Don't get married when you're 19. Trust me. You make it so much harder. I had to go back to college at like 30, and best thing I ever did. But I wish I'd have gone the practical route and started my college education before I started a family. And you know, so that's enough of that advice. We've had some great guests lately, and last week we had Steve Postel, and unfortunately it was marred by just a lot of technical stuff. So I have some good news to report, is I have hired again a producer behind the scenes person who will be queuing up videos and doing all the shit that I don't do very well when I'm trying to talk to you folks. So I'm really excited about that. Our amount of members. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Basically, ladies and gentlemen, what they're doing is they have a site, and they've been trying to assemble all of that music that was playing during those times. And it's funny because I remember going up in the building as a young person, probably about 17, 16, and I can still remember the smell of the building and the sound of the ultimate elevator music. And I remember being blown away how fast the elevators took you up to the top. I had dinner at Windows on the World, and every time I see the 9/11 thing, it's eerie and scary. And for a lot of the people here, I mean, where I live, smelled the tower and death for a long time afterwards. It was really awful. And I can't, anybody who's been there or was here afterwards, it really changed your whole life. That's all I can say. It was awful period of history for us. At any rate, moving on. Great guest last week. Steve is amazing. What a nice guy and so freaking talented. Oh, my Lord, have mercy. The guy, he's what you'd expect. He's a trained musician, and he's just a great interview. Dan, what year did I go there? That would have been about 1977, I believe, because the same year I saw Led Zeppelin in New York. And I'd been there after the towers fell. Company I was with, we were doing work at the New York Times, and we all had to come up after it to finish the job. But it was just, I'll tell you, my remembrance of it was I had a team of people working at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, and had a team working with me at the big televangelist teleproduction studio that we were building. And yeah, Dan, I did go there multiple times in my life. I'd been up to the observation area and stuff when I was younger than that. I watched it being built as a kid, and going into New York and seeing it built was just so cool. And when they finally finished it, it was awesome. Still just a bad taste kind of thing. But getting back to guests we have coming up, on Friday, I have one of my favorite people, and by proxy, his son, who's also kind of like I'm Uncle Neil, we'll put it that way. I have my good buddy, Jeff Arthur, who is otherwise known as the Jingle Genius. He's the guy behind the Tampa Bay Bucks fight song. He's done ad campaigns all around the world, Calvin Klein, Panasonic. I worked for him in the Jingle Factory, as we referred to it, the Sausage Factory. My first jobs for him were getting hamburgers, getting his golf shoes picked up, making coffee, all that stuff. But the guy was in the entertainment industry. He was the progenitor of Arthur, Hurley, and Gottlieb, a band that released their debut album the same week that Bruce Springsteen released his album. And you know what happened? All the air was sucked out of the room that summer by Super Springsteen. My friend had Rick Marotta, Mike O'Martian, or he had all of these incredible studio players. He had, oh man, I can't think of his name. He had Rick Marotta, or Jerry Marotta, excuse me, not Rick. I always confuse the two. They look alike, they sound alike, but two definitely different people. Any rate, he did his record. They did 2 albums and broke up. Pretty sure Gottlieb went back to the family diamond business, and Jeff got into the jingle business. His son, Drew, one of my tasks when I worked for Jeff, I was kind of his all-around factotum, whatever needed to be done as I was rising up in the hierarchy of the Jeff Arthur dynasty. Some of the things included taking Drew by, I don't know, to drop him off or pick something up for him, or pick him up and drop him off at Jane's, or he'd pick him up and then have me bring him to James. But he was a little guy, and he was fun to have around the studio. He grew up and we watched him, and now I look at him and he's like 6 feet tall, tattooed all over, amazing, extremely talented like his dad. And I'm going to have Drew Arthur. Drew will be with us on the 10 o'clock show, along with his dad. And we're going to be kind of talking madness, mayhem, fun, all the crazy things you can do. And we're just going to talk music, and we're going to talk a little bit about the jingle business. If any of you out there have been in the jingle business, and if any of you don't know what a jingle is, we'll cover it A to Z. I was really fortunate to have worked at that studio with my friend J.R. Sansone, who passed away last year. We worked in Jeff's environment, and a lot of people complained about Jeff's methods and stuff. But I'll tell you what, the guy is a genius. He is one of the few people that I think is a genius, other than myself, of course. I'm modest too. Um, oh, Keith, man, you're down in Mexico. I better put on my gun country hat. Goddamn. I'll tell you what, Keith, I'm going to have to call, man. I need a new diamond bling. I got to call Judy. Fell off my hat. I'm just not blinging it. I got to go to L.A. and Guanajuato, Mexico. Well, don't worry, Keith. I'm coming down there. I don't even need to bring tequila. I don't drink it anyway, but I don't know. We'll come down there and see some senoritas. Shh. Working on new shit. Don't tell anybody. It's only 500,000 viewers per minute watching. Yeah, by the way, folks, this is a Gone Country hat. Listen, it's banned, but it's not the hat's fault. It's mine. It fell off my head, and I stepped on it, and it came undone. Do I like Manhattan Transfer? Absolutely. The band I listened to a lot in the 70s, in the old days. I don't know. Men Were Men and Sheep Were Scared, or some kind of shit like that. I've also been watching a lot of other radio shows and their hosts, and I realize that I am completely insane because my show is not quite like the average one. Today, though, was a lesson. I was watching a guy who I can't by any measure call a competitor because he's been at the top of the radio biz for decades. Famous shock jock, and I don't want to go into the names. All I will do, I'll tell you the basics and you can figure it out. Big time soul food to go. Absolutely. Absolutely. But at any rate, what was I talking about? I don't know. We're going to move on. It's Friday. It's not Friday. It's Tuesday. You see how easy that rolled off my mouth? I always do the shows on Friday. But this week, on Thursday, I'm going to be interviewing, and I'm really excited. Bunny Barnes is an amazingly talented guitar player. Her story is exceptional. And the thing about her I like is she just got it in her head one day. She's going to pick up guitar and learn to play like Tommy Emmanuel. Dream big, people. She did it. And she just won the Philadelphia Folk Festival Award. She's the Artist of the Year, won the competition. Tommy won it in 19. And I like to say, Bunny, I know you're at home. You had your teeth worked on. You had all kinds of shit going on. Man, congratulations on a job. Really well done. I mean, that is so cool and deserved. And this is another example, Dan. Bunny is in her 50s, okay? She started playing late in life. And she was dedicated, put her nose to the grindstone. Every time I've tried to have her on, or like she practices constantly. She is in deep. She gives it her all, and that's really what it takes to do anything good. Like our friend here is another Keith Kowach, self-made guy, man. He got an idea, started selling hats. Now he's the hat king, and he's got the hat queen. So I mean, what can I tell you? Just find something, find your niche, man, and don't worry, there's a niche out there. And if you can't find one, like just when you want, it's okay. You will find one. And you might have to go to college for a few years. You might have to learn. You might have to go for a couple of degrees. Who knows? But do what you love. Don't do something you just want to do for money. Do something you really dig that you have the chance to make a successful living for yourself. Start out early and young, save your cash, do all the shit your dad and grandparents told you. Believe me, as we get older, we're going to realize how much more smart. Like when you're a teenager, I mean, I thought my parents were just out there, and we all did. But you learn when you have kids and you grow older, you learn a lot of shit. And I don't know. That's all I've got to say. So we have Bunny Barnes on Thursday, and then I have Drew and Jeff Arthur, the Jingle Giants, will be with me Friday morning. Then we will be having a short show at 4 p.m. And then at 7 o'clock, we will have a special edition of the Live with Neve show with Papa Chubby. I'm going to go out. I'm going to eat big. I'm going to just have a great time. Drink myself a gallon of water. start selling rides as a designated driver out there. You got to make a buck, man. I like this guy, Magnus. What a great name, man. You sound like a character in an Anne Rice novel. Jesus Christ. Magnus Lindstrom. Are you in Holland, Magnus? Let's see what this chap's from. I'm thinking he's a Delftsman. Like, I'm half a lot of things. No answer. Going once, going gone. All right. Well, the Papa Chubby thing's going to be cool. I am looking here into November. As I mentioned, we are going to have Kinky Friedman and Juford will be joining me for a Technically Perfect. And again, for those of you who may have missed it, I have hired a behind-the-scenes person who will be doing all that switching and running cues. All I have to do is point at the screen. Thank you, Dan. It's a Gone Country hat. I'm proud to be an endorsee and have a couple. I'll tell you, the cool thing about this company is right now, the owner of the company is down and he's like in Mexico making new hats, new designs. Like anything, there's really a lot of different things that it takes to make a hat. And, the guy's designing his own. I'm pretty sure when they first started, they probably bought them. But now he's got a whole line of them. And I'll tell you guys, go to GoneCountryHats.com, call up Judy, and order yourself a hat. I have one in a box here for Toby that I've been promising her forever, and probably have to wait till November. I'm going to be out in LA, and I will bring her hat. And a few other, I'll be bearing gifts when I come for all my partners in crime, co-conspirators, unindicted co-conspirators. That's it. And it's going to be a good time. And I'm really excited to have somebody behind the scenes because it's going to get back to where I can focus on you, the audience, and not on flipping buttons and trying to get shit to work with a panicked look on my face. I know you guys have seen that look before, and I apologize, everything you do, starting this show was something new for me. So I've been doing it now for 3 years, and I haven't found the nut. I have not found the secret formula that would put tons of cash into my pocket. But it's worth doing, and anything worth doing is hard to do. So I'm here for the duration. We do have plans for the show to change. Eventually, I'm hoping to have a live show that we do, and we have a band, and we do all that. And it'll be a little more like late night type television show. And he opened up with Jimmy. No shit. I've got to call him. You just reminded me because I supposed to book him and haven't. His brother hooked me up, and I haven't gotten a hold of him yet. He's always busy. The guy's just a hustler. The Vivino brothers, I'll tell you what, kick ass. In fact, I'm not sure, but they might be here this Friday. I'm going to look, and I'll let you guys know on Friday. He's playing out, what's the name of this? It's a great Japanese fusion restaurant in Central Jersey. He's out in like Monroe or somewhere. I got to tell you, you can go into a club, see the drummer from Saturday Night Live, see Jerry Vivino, see the bass player from Late Night. Got this amazing fucking musicians who just kick ass. Hey Gina, is Jimmy is Jerry here too? Because I'm pretty sure Jerry's playing this weekend. But I'm gonna reach out. It's great. I just sitting here talking about that. I'm gonna call Jimmy and see if we can't get him on next week. Those guys, if you don't know, 28 years on the Conan O'Brien show. Yes. I tell you, one cool thing is at any rate, yeah, they're just unbelievable. It's cool, Gene. I grew up right down the street from them. They lived in Glen Rock, New Jersey, which they had a great music store, and they had an amazing music department. Their music department, you have to look at the interview I did with Jerry here at my home, and his there's a movie out that has Jerry and and Jimmy and their uncle, not Milty. Fuck, what is his name? Uncle Louie. Uncle Lou. Yeah, I think that's it. At any rate, great New York entertainment family, and I got to just tell you, really just such humble people. I mean, I just love people who are really successful, who don't let it go to their head and they turn into an ultimate D bag. You know, those kind of people. I don't know. All I can say is be nice to people on the way up, man. You're going to meet them on the way down, and just be nice, man. It helps. Oh yeah. You know, maybe while I'm out there, I'll find some lucky news that they're at the Baked Potato. We'll go check it out. Yeah, life is good, people. So I'm sitting here. It's 4:45. I really just planned to come on and say hello. I'm sorry. Our young friend Dan. Thank you, Dan, for coming on. And I think it's really cool. 15-year-old kid in England is listening to Manhattan Transfer and Soul Food to Go. What a good kid, man. Just, you know, I got the best fans in the world. And I will just tell you, sometimes the notes and stuff I get and occasional dollar bills people send me to put in my underwear, I've got to tell you, man, you're the best. Let's see. I guess that's really all I have today. Anybody got anything they want to talk about before we pack up this motley crew and get back to some kind of functional work? I am moving my monitors in here. I've got new speakers to install. This room is going to sound great, and the show's just going to keep getting better and better and better. And you're unusual for sure. Well, we like that, man. Live with Neve. We are the home for everybody, man. We got a big fucking tent. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, straight, gay, fucking, I don't care if you're a SEAL, if you can talk. As long as you're cool, I'm cool with you. It's a live and let live world, and it's not really, but in my world it is. So Dan, you may be unusual, but trust me, everybody feels that way. Of course, you can hear I'm about to lose my throat. So, on that note, I did some singing over the weekend, and you can hear it. It's got to guard your throat. Right now, I'm not doing too good. So, I guess we're out of here. Or I could play a Leland Sklar run review just for laughs. Let's see what we have here in the interesting stuff. That's a Leland drop. We have Leland Sklar, 10 minutes, part 1. It's about 5-minute clip. There we go. Let's listen to some life advice from Leland. What the hell? Right. I'm sorry. I'm a heartless animal here. I'm addressed.
No. Well, no, you are. I mean, I've been warned about you in the past that you really don't give a shit about people or anything. And this
I think we're all, killed before.
You're going to edit all
hey, Wade.
and I out anyhow, and this will just be you when it airs, won't it?
And that drummer joke is just going to go.
Oh yeah, the drummer joke will have to go. That one really pissed me off. Beyond. I don't get upset. What do you mean? Let me ask you this: have you ever had how many biggest fans have you encountered? Just not that they were harmless. Like how many people have you ever had to run into and just kind of got overwhelming? Is that a common occurrence over decades?
Not really, because the beauty of my gig is at the end of the day, I'm a sideman. So I don't carry the same kind of effect. Like if somebody meets Phil Collins or James Taylor or any of these people, they're like pissing in their pants and they turn into Ralph Cramden and they don't know what to say. But people that come up to me, they kind of go, "Oh man, didn't you play with James? I saw you guys at Blossom or something. Oh man, I love, man, you all these." It's really a comfortable relationship with fans. I never, and like when we would play places like Blossom Music Center, you've got the sheds, where you got the seats inside and then the big expansive lawn. We would finish sound check and like the band normally would be waiting in the dressing room. I go out and walk around the lawn, meet people and sit down, have some fried chicken with people and shoot the shit with them. I've always been real comfortable with I don't even want to say fans. I mean, it's just people that, you know, they're there for the music,
Right.
they're
Yeah.
there to present it. And so, you know, like I can sit, like I'll be sitting in LAX and waiting for a flight. And
Right. I'm
people,
sure that's a,
you know, and because of how I look, I've created an image, whether I wanted to or not.
Sure.
And so
Mhm.
people recognize you. And sometimes you get the people, you can see them over there going, or I'll be sitting like in the music center or the Amundsen Theater, and I look up a couple of rows in front of me and I see somebody on their phone Googling me to see if that's actually me sitting behind them. But as soon as we talk, man, I disarm the whole situation. I'm real uncomfortable making it about me. So as soon as I meet people,
it's obvious you're a very congenial
You
guy.
are.
It's by your nature. You're wired that way, I think. And
yeah,
other
I'm
than
not-
that serial killer, I don't know, man. I've heard lurking about, you know, some guy in LA running over fences late.
you know, I mean, there's always going to be that little bit of a dark side that you just try to avoid capture.
Of course, yes.
more than
Right.
anything.
Evade and escape.
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Make sure it's dusk.
Jack
Yeah.
Nicholson always said you should always know where the back door is.
Well,
At
it's
least.
really true. Or guys like Jeff Skunk Baxter,
Right?
who thinks, you know, he's part of the, you know, CIA and all this. And
Yeah, I know. He thinks big thoughts. You know?
big thoughts. And anytime you go to a restaurant with him, he sits where he'll never sit with his back to the door. Always
Right.
wants to see who's coming in the room in case he has to make a move.
Right.
I just
I thought everybody
I look
did
for the
that.
back door only if I want to leave without paying.
There you go.
Sorry,
You know
I
what-
have to say this.
Here, what you do? Go
backdooring.
to the. Go ahead.
Pete,
Every single time I hear backdoor between you two, do you know what's going on in my head?
No,
I
us
can
lurking
imagine.
out without paying our check, I guess.
No, all I keep thinking is backdoor in the wrong sense.
This is the thing that I think is so fascinating about you, Julie.
What's that?
That because we're sharing minds.
We're all
together.
friends.
Yeah.
You can tell us all.
Wait, so what is it? I'd love to hear it.
No, I'm just thinking backdoor too.
It's a song here somewhere.
No,
Lurking
there's no
around
song.
back.
There's something more special.
Because it's all that's in my head, and I'm trying not to.
I usually go there to pick up my
It's a
Chinese
serious
food.
question.
Neil, I'm sorry. This is between Julie and I. Really.
That's okay. I'm gonna dim the lights.
I'll
Fade to black.
send you a
Oh,
Polaroid.
man.
Oh my god, you just made me spit all over the place.
Oh, no, here you are. Now you're spewing biological material around. You know,
That's why people have to wear masks now.
absolutely. That's all because of you, Julie. I'm gonna get the full face one with the fans on it. Look like I'm going into the back of the new Willard movie.
I'm going to go to a flea market and buy an old diving helmet.
There you go.
Like a sponge one the sponge
The
divers.
beard sticking out.
Just
would be
with the
perfect,
windows in the
man.
front and the sides, you know, weighs about 300 pounds, you know, and just
What we can do is get 3 or 4 Leland lookalikes, put them in those helmets and send them down to Grauman's, let them run around. You know, you can make some money each day.
I got to
Well,
figure
even
out how to
slower.
make some money because work ain't here anymore.
All right, that was Leland Part 1. I see there's a few of you still lurking around in the shadows. Let's see. All right, Dan, have a great day, man. Chill out. You can always call Uncle Neve, and we'll hook you up, man. We'll take good care of you. Don't let life beat you down. You're too young for it, man. You got to go out and kick the world by the nuts, man. At any rate, I know that's the advice my parents said to me. Actually, I can tell you my mom didn't have that. She told me I better get out and get working or I'll starve. Good advice. And I haven't starved yet. All right, everybody. I hope you're having a great one. Gina, thanks for being here and helping me with the various technical details. Thank God, people, we have a producer now who's going to be working. Not an on-air talent, but will be just lurking in the shadows, queuing up the videos, playing songs, I don't know, levitating my disembodied head when I put the green screen bodysuit on. You ever seen one of those people? You ever? I don't think you've seen me. What's this about anal sex? Jesus Christ. Sorry, Susan, that's not my thing. I'm kidding you. Oh my gosh, I wasn't insinuating when Jack Nicholson said always know where the back door is. I did not mean the poop chute, okay? I meant the back of the Chinese restaurant in LA when the paps are all out front. You can slide on out the back door. I kind of love it, man. Susan, you are the best. In fact, I have to tell everybody, if you guys are, I don't have it, I'm here in the studio, but our great friend Susan Fine, for 2 years now, she has sent out the most amazing Christmas and Halloween cards. And I have a new one, and I'm going to find one from last year because I'm going to frame them. They are handmade. They're fucking killer, man. They're outrageous. I got it, and it put a big old smile on my face. I just opened it up. I tore it open because I knew it would be really cool, and it was. So I want to say thank you to you, Susan. And if I'm going to come knocking, it's always at the front door, man. That's, oh, I know what they meant. I can't help Leland with that kind of thing. It's just not my party. You know? It's between Julie and him. So I'm going to go ahead. Before I go, you know, we're sitting here, and there's a few of you hanging. So I'm going to go ahead and play part 2 of that Leland interview. That's one. Let's see, where's part 2? That's the first one. That's the third one. Here it is, part 2.
Yeah, I'll show you this.
Oh, please do. Yay.
Oh, we're going for the bass.
No, not a bass, but I used my Frankenstein bass today on it, which was my old right arm. But a guy sent me a song to do for him, but it was like 38 pages of music because all he had was a score. So I sat here with my paper cutter, removing all of the bass parts on it. And here's the chart I used. And I had to tape it all together. And this is like, you can see it up close. It's just, every one of these is another piece of tape in here.
It's another bass line.
So that's my bass chart here.
Yes.
That's
You're quite
brilliant.
a talented artist there, Mr. Sklar.
You know, you do what you got to do.
That is
Can
true.
you bring us some glass bowls? Did anybody in the 60s say, Sklar, blow me a bong, please? No,
they would just say, blow me.
no. They might say, could you possibly? What
want
is
a glass
the correct
pipe, blow.
terminology? I don't know.
See, the hard part of all that was, and the people that knew me, I've been doing this so long, I've never drank and I've never done drugs.
Yeah.
Ever.
You are wow, you are a
That's
paramount of health, man. You are the best.
That explains a lot.
What it explains is why a lot of people don't want to be around me, because I still have memory. And there's a lot of stuff that people have wanted to forget over the years, but I always go, oh no, that's not right. Let me remind you of what you were really doing that night. And then they go, oh fuck, oh, get out of here.
Oh man, that's
Sounds- This sounds so familiar. We have this often, don't we, Neil?
Oh, it's happened. You know, I haven't had a drink in going on 3 years, and it's a whole different world.
But we've known each other for about 25 years. So when the story thing starts, we're both like, uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. That sounds like a Warren Zevon song opening a weird
Very
door.
much.
So,
Very
you know,
much.
I want to ask you a little bit about Warren, because you've been talking about it on the show. I've been watching your videos. Just a weird question, which, you know, not people always like to focus on the Purian aspects of Warren's life, which I don't give a shit. You know, I've done a lot of dumb things, but when you first did the sessions with him, did you come in and know who he was? And then the first time you met him, was it doing a session with him, or did you run into him prior?
Yeah, I think the first time I met Warren was probably in the studio, and we became, you know, pretty much immediate friends. I mean, being around Warren was kind of like being around Hunter Thompson or one of these people.
Right.
They're thinking on a whole other level, and with Warren, it really depended on, you know, if he was sober or not. But in the studio, his focus was like a laser. He really kind of knew what he wanted. And one of those guys, the thing I loved about Warren so much was he could write the goofiest kind of, you know, satirical song, and then turn around with the next song, you're tearing your heart out emotionally.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He ran a tremendous gamut as and his keyboard playing, his guitar playing, everything was really wonderful. And it was all really him, like Randy Newman, that kind of.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
These guys, they're really a package. All their talent comes to surface in this one presentation. And I always loved, I would love to have toured with him. Now, the fun part of working with Waddy Wachtel is the fact that he and Warren, their friendship began when they were in the Everly Brothers band together.
Oh, I didn't realize they were.
Some of the stuff goes way back to the late 60s and stuff. I mean, it's a real, now that time has, traveled with us over all these decades.
Right.
You really, you start to see things in a different way where, like when you were first starting, you never saw you were going to have a career. You were happy to have a gig.
Exactly. Right.
It was never going to be. And they were going to discover any day that I don't know what the hell I'm doing and call somebody else kind of thing. And, so it
was when those complaints about your beard started coming in.
at that point, I just didn't give a shit about it. I figured if they couldn't take, if my follicles were bothering them, it's just
they're follicular challenged.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't look at this as baldness. I look at it as plate tectonics.
Well, I'm sorry. I was just typing a response to Gina. I got my ticket, babe. Here we go. It's going to be a good time. That's all I can say. So it's 5 o'clock. I'm going to look real quick. I think there's one last segment of that, which I'm going to run just for the hell of it, since we're sitting here, and I played most of that series of clips. That's number 2. Let's see where we got here. Lee Sklar, minute 1. This is number 3. Here we go, people. Welcome, children. Gonna have some of Chef's salty ass balls. Oh shit, that wasn't Leland Sklar. Right. I'm sorry. I'm a heartless animal here on a dress. No.
Well, no, you are. I mean, I've been warned about you in the past that you really don't give a shit about people or anything. And
I think they're all, we just killed the poor.
You're going to edit all Julie and I out anyhow, and this will just be you when it airs, won't it?
And that drummer joke is just going to go.
Oh yeah, the drummer joke will have to go. That one really pissed me off. Beyond. I don't get upset. What do you mean? Let me ask you this: have you ever had? How many biggest fans have you encountered? That just not that they were harmless. Like, how many people have you ever had to run into that just kind of got overwhelming? Is that a common occurrence over decades?
Not really, because the beauty of my gig is, at the end of the day.
All right, people. I'm sorry. That was number 2. So, on that note, I want to wish everybody a good night till tomorrow. Think about it as Telecaster Tuesday. I don't know, maybe it's Les Paul Day. I think it is. I need to restring my 2 guitars. They're screaming at me that I am out of tune and about to pop. Can't have that. Can't have it. Gina, you have a great day. I'll talk to you later. And I hope everybody really does well. And just be cool, man. Don't worry about all this crap on TV. I hope our friend Dan finds himself. Could almost be a character in a novel. Any rate, I love y'all. And I'm appreciative that you watch my crazy show and come back. And thank you very much. We're out of here. And here's our good buddy to say goodbye.
Hello there, my name is Andreas Hellqvist, this is Daniel Olsson, and we're live with Neve and having a great time.